Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. I hope you all had a fantastic and safe weekend. We've got a lot to talk about as per usual. You see the headline. This is so soft to me, but Kevin Durant got fined for a ridiculous reason. Also, Enes Kanter is a complete hypocrite. We're going to get into all that. But before we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at Jackie Ray TV.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K. Happy Monday, Jackie.
Happy Monday. That your tone is exactly how I feel. Happy Monday. I'm excited, though. I got to go to the game last night. I got to watch LeBron James do his thing. It was amazing. It was so fantastic. So if you guys haven't seen, go to my story. It's great. But let's get into this first need to know news, because I can't wait to get into the post-up, because the post-up is where it's going to go down. But before we get to that, the Nets are on top of the Eastern Conference once again. They've won, 3 of their last 5 games, so they're improving. They're doing very, very well. They played the Detroit Pistons, and Kevin Durant went off. He scored 51 points. He played the most minutes of anyone. I think it was like 41 minutes and 28 seconds, something like that. Patty Mills was the only one that was close. He had like 35 minutes, but Kevin Durant went off, like I said, 51 points. So before I get into this interesting record that he broke with that, I want to go to you, Chris, because you've said time and time again that this team really does need Kyrie to win. This was the first game that James Harden had like one of those scheduled rests, and so I think that's why Kevin Durant stepped up so much. But this level of play that we saw from him, again, it was Detroit. I feel like we expect them to beat Detroit. But is this the level of play we have to expect from Kevin Durant if Kyrie's not able to play?
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, like, the team's going to be good during the regular season, but then when it comes playoff time, I don't know. And that's not to question Kevin Durant's greatness, because although I'm not a fan of the team, I'm not a big KD hater. I just hate that he chose them over us, and that's where a lot of my hate stems from him. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to the postseason is when we're going to really see how the others that he has on that team, they're all being blanketed right now by a lot of what Kevin Durant does. And I know the two Nets fans are going to be like, but what about this guy and that guy? Yeah, that's fine. But when it comes playoff time, are those same two guys going to show up? Like they were forced to play Blake Griffin because there was a few games there where LaMarcus Aldridge wasn't doing enough. So during the regular season is going to be great. Kevin Durant is going to be great. But like I said, long term, and I stick to my word, I feel like this team cannot win it all unless they have Kyrie Irving on that roster. So it's good for them right now, and KD's doing what KD does. Those minutes, though, Steve Nash, I know you said you have to play him because if you don't play him, you lose. I get it. But they're gonna add up, man. They're gonna add up.
I think that was my biggest concern of the night. 51 points is great. It's the minutes that got me, because that is an impossible pace to maintain. Every time LeBron has gone on these minutes these runs where he has this many minutes in a game, it literally is either followed by I need a long rest or some sort of injury. It's just not one of those things that you can maintain. So I totally agree with that. Kevin Durant is averaging, I believe, like 29 points a game. His highest game thus far in this season was 39 points. That was against overtime against the 76ers in November. So this is a big deal. It's cool, though, because this is Little Caesar. I'm so mad about this crypto stadium, but at least we're not Little Caesars Arena, because it could be worse. So, but the last time somebody scored this was Blake Griffin. Kevin Durant didn't even know. So I want you to take a look at his response, knowing that he broke Blake Griffin's record.
Are you aware whose arena scoring record he broke tonight?
Who's?
Blake Griffin's.
Really? In the Caesar's Palace? What do you have?
50.
Yeah, 50 years?
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace.
Break Blake's record. Damn, I didn't know that. I mean, guess it's a new arena. I'm sure somebody gonna break this one here soon.
First of all, that's funny to me on twofold. He didn't even call it Little Caesars Arena. He called it Caesar's Palace. Didn't he call it Caesar's? He's like, I'm not calling it that.
Caesar's Palace.
And number two, he was like, he scored 50 here? Like he wasn't paying no attention to Blake at all when Blake was with the Pistons. I think this is hilarious. I don't have anything else for this need to know news except for to say congratulations, because you need to relish in this moment, because when we get into the post up, it's an entirely different moment. So that's all I got for need to know news. So Chris, on this Monday, can you take us into the post up?
Yes, people, it's time for post up on this fine Monday. Yeah, we're gonna jump right into it if I can get to my notes. This is my problem. I do this every single time. Notes are never ready. There they are. All right, yeah, we are actually just going to pivot right into the Kevin Durant nonsense. I'm not gonna call it news because I'm gonna call it nonsense because to Jackie Ray's point at the very top, it was soft. Okay. Now, before we talk about what was soft, I want you guys to see the it was a back and forth, it was a bit of a thriller. You know, the New York hate stems over to Brooklyn, I guess, when it comes to the Atlanta Hawks. So in that game, it was getting chippy amongst the fans and as well as the players and Kevin Durant and the Nets. And then they had this moment right here. If you guys can hear closely, you hear Kevin Durant was going back and forth with the fan. He said some explicitives. Cool. Saw that play. Saw that video. I'm like, nice. Like I got a solid Instagram video. You got KD to cuss at you. If you guys didn't hear it, the fans said, "Stop crying, KD," and the guy said, "Shut your A up, MF." And then he moved on about the play. I was like, dope. Good. This is gonna be a fun video. Haha. You got him. Atlanta fans trying to be Atlanta fans. Well, insert the NBA because after that was seen, that video came to light and it became viral. Or obviously the internet, the NBA saw it beforehand. The NBA decided to fine Kevin Durant for that moment. I'm not making this up. If you guys not see the news over the weekend, the NBA fined Kevin Durant for that. If we can get the tweet up by Shams. The Nets for Kevin Durant has been fined $25,000 for directing obscene language toward a fan in Atlanta. That's the weakest thing.
That's insane.
This irritates me on so many levels. Level number one, how did that get him fined, and this moment right here did not get him fined? Can we play this next video, Leo? So we can just get away with doing all this. This is not an offensible offense right here. What do you do? Get off of Trey. I'm not even a fan of Trey Young than the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm watching that video. I'm like, get off him. Stop. Get off. Get off him. Like, it's just weird. It's weird. I hated every moment of this. And then my man Ray Rants, W Trey, unless you get it, he thought the same thing I was thinking. Like, how did this not get fined? So that was my number one. My number two, on a more serious note, is the hell are we talking about right now? We know these fans are going to say whatever, especially on an away game. These fans are going to say whatever they can to these players. This one, if you ask me, was not even that bad. He said, "Stop crying, KD," and KD responded, "Move on." That is normal. If a player got fined every time they responded to a fan, the NBA would be a lot richer for sure. But for this instance right here, because it was on video, is what I'm assuming, and because it was Kevin Durant, which I'm also assuming is the reason why I got fined. To me, that's absolutely whack. This was a back and forth that was expected. I think the fan even laughed because he expected to get cussed out, or he probably wasn't going to get anything back. Move on. Like, nothing came of it. This didn't escalate into anything else. Is whack, unless that certain fan, because it was the front row, Jackie's favorite spot in the NBA, in the arena, unless that was somebody important. Maybe he was Mr. State Farm himself, and he got cussed at, so he complained about it. But other than that, this is a whack fine, in my opinion. And Jackie, it sounded like that you agree with that at the top. But what you think about this one?
First of all, if you read about this article in ESPN, the way that they worded it is ridiculous. It says Kevin Durant hurls multiple expletives at a fan.
Right.
It was two. It was literally two curse words, and not even that bad. You know what I mean? He said what he said, and he moved on. And it's just, at first, when LeBron got that $25,000 fine for that fight that he didn't even start, or for the big balls thing, I was like, okay, the NBA is just starting to target him for some reason. But then I see this and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So now I don't know. Now my mind is just kind of reeling. Is the NBA low-key co-signing on this shut up and dribble? Is it becoming the no fun league like the NFL is going on? Like, what is happening? Yeah. I know you hate this, but I'm gonna stick to my gun. If you don't want players reacting to fans, don't have fans that close to players. This isn't rocket science. I like it too, but at the end of the day, you can't find players for responding
that part
to twat fans. So it's an either or situation to me, and this is unacceptable. And I'm with you. Like, I don't dislike Kevin Durant at all. I think what he said was absolutely fine. I'm actually going to co-sign it and say he was fine in saying that. There's nothing wrong with what he said. So for the NBA to fine him like this, I don't know what's going on. Something is going on, though. There's a behind-the-scenes conversation that we are not privy to that has happened, because these fines are getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I thought you're saying if the NBA are going to be giving out these fines, then you got to go to your original thing and move back the fence. Got it. I thought you were okay. That part I agree, because if you're going to be calling these fines, then that's something that you can control, is what you're saying, and I agree with that. But at the same time, just don't give the fine out. This is a whack fine, like Jackie just said. Nothing came out of this. There was no fight. There was no constant beef. They didn't come back and forth. Like, it was just a whack call. This wasn't the same situation as LeBron James and that one other fan in Indiana. That was just disrespecting. LeBron James handled that the way you're supposed to handle a moment like that. But other than that, you know that those fans were yelling all kinds of other things to LeBron James as why he was so hyped up. And, what's it called? Showing attention to that. That feeds into the game. That feeds into the energy. That's part of what the experience at a game is, and that a lot of these players enjoy that. A lot of these players enjoy that. Let me show you mentality. So this, to me, is just such a whack technical fine. To be given out to KD. But it should have been that fine. Trey Young should talk to the NBA and get him fined up, because that was out of pocket. I don't care. I don't care what explanation you give me. Out of pocket. That $25,000, I'm gonna assume is for that now. That's all I'm gonna say it is. Anyways, we heard about the unfortunate news with Demaryius Thomas of the Denver Broncos and the Jets, and it was just really sudden. No details or nothing came out to that. Just really, really sudden death. 33 years old. Last week we heard about that. So as expected, we were going to see some sort of tribute coming from the Denver Broncos, and I thought they did it perfectly. You definitely could feel like there was a somber moment, but the magic and just the togetherness that everyone had, because a lot of people were really big fans. You heard Jackie express her fandom of Demaryius Thomas, so it just really struck a chord amongst a lot of Denver Broncos fans and teammates there that are still on that team that played with them. So there was a series of moments that happened during their tributes. I'll say there's an initial tribute that happened when the game started, where they decided to run out the clock and take a penalty, delay a game penalty, and shout out to oh my goodness, I can't remember who they played. We're gonna see them right now. Shout out to them for declining the penalty, and then the game moved forward. The Lions, right? I was like, it's a blue team. I can't remember who it was. See, that's why I didn't remember who it was, because it was the Lions. But anyways, here was that play. It was pretty cool.
The X position will be left open. Only 10 men on the field at the 25-yard line.
And then you saw Sutton. He sat out, so they can have that open spot for Demaryius Thomas. If you guys understand what that meant.
John Hussey is the referee. And they're going to take the delay of game.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. Like I said, then the Lions went on to decline the penalty, so it would be second down on 10, and then they would just move forward, which is pretty cool. And then after that, before that, actually, on the stadium, they had spots on the field on the sideline, that is, with number 88, because that was Demaryius's number. And before the game, you saw that the players put a ball there on the number, and also showed the respect before the game could start. So here's that video too. Yep. And then even better than that, or even cooler moment than that, Justin Simmons got this crazy pick, got a crazy interception, and then he decided to add to the ball that they already put down earlier on in the game in honor of him. This pick was crazy. Check out that highlight.
All these plays.
Watch this pick.
Remember and learn from.
2nd and 4. Jermar Jefferson in the game for the first time today.
Give me that.
And a diving interception made at the 12-yard line. Justin Simmons with a spectacular pick, his 5th of the year.
Just Simmons, please, man. Yeah, cool moments, man. Like I said, sad, obviously, but for them to turn around and tribute him in that way, and for it to work in the favor. And I don't want, in an instance like this, I don't want to hear any. It's a Lions conversation. It doesn't matter who they played. the whole entire situation, the whole entire thing, and for it to at least come out like the way it did in moments like this, like that's it's a pretty cool tribute. Really sad, but it's one way to help cope with news that was sudden like that. But Jackie, I know we're both Saints fans, and luckily we came out with a W against our Jets. But seeing something like this, and I know, like I said, it was close to you. Did you appreciate how they handled that whole thing?
I did. I watched that game specifically because he was such a huge personality in Denver. We all loved him. If you go to my story on Instagram, there's a tribute that somebody spliced together of when he retired back in June, and Peyton Manning kind of just congratulating him and whatnot. So it was just really emotional for me to watch that, but I'm glad that Denver did something, and I expected they would. That's why I watched that game.
Yeah, 100%. I'm Ghost is mad at me because I just called him the blue team and I didn't remember his lines. I guess he's a Lions fan. He said that's the D. My fault, bro. My fault, bro. But when you got that many ones in your record, it's hard. You are 1-11-1. Like I can't remember all that, bro. I'm sorry, Detroit Lions. I apologize. Kevin Lane said if it's not the Knicks or the Saints, it's the blue team. Chill out, y'all. I just didn't remember.
I didn't even care who they were playing. When I was looking for the game, I just looked in Denver game. I didn't even see who they was playing, to be honest. I watched that entire game. It didn't register to me who they were playing. I just was watching to see all the tributes they did to Demaryius because, so this is not the time to get mad about that per se. You can get mad about it next week when we forget again, because we will forget.
Right. When the Lions do something else bad and we forget that it was the Lions that did it. Yeah, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Look, and they're taking shots now. Look, my Glock saying the Knicks are mid. Man, we suck. We're not mid. We're worse than mid. Come on, son. Like, come at me right, man. Come on. Anyways, but yeah, from that we go to a bit more of a funny and also cool moment. But of course, it's a hated moment by me because we're talking about none other than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But here we go. Tom Brady in very epic fashion. I don't know how Tom Brady always manages to do this, but in a very epic way, Tom Brady was able to secure his 700th touchdown. And again, it wasn't just like in the regular, like a second quarter and, they took a lead or no. This was in overtime to win the game to a guy that has not been getting many snaps and has not had a touchdown at all this season, has not even gotten a reception at all this season. The levels of it. But after we celebrate that touchdown, I need you to check out the end zone, okay? And you'll see it when you look in the end zone, because remember after Tom Brady finished how many reception was it? It was this big milestone reception. I forgot. Sorry, Brady. 500? 600?
It was when he. It wasn't that. It was when he broke the all-time passing record, right?
Passing record, right. Yes. Yeah. And that's when you saw Mike Evans score the touchdown and he gave the ball away, and then we had a whole catastrophe and we talked about was it enough, blah, 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 blah. Well, they were prepared. They knew he was on 699 going for number 700. They had somebody on deck. Look out for my man in the end zone. But check this video out.
All year, and here he is on 3rd and 3 from the pocket. Connecting.
I'm out. Game over. See you guys later.
Taking it all the way for the win.
Look, you see my man in the red? Look. He knew the assignment.
Poor guy.
He had been targeted.
He couldn't even celebrate.
Taking it all the way for
He had one job. Look at him. I can't celebrate. Excuse me. Mr. Perryman, good touchdown. I need this. Look. Before he even scored, he bolted over. He probably got the report. Get the ball. He's like, oh, okay. The way he ran over. I thought that was pretty funny. That was a good moment right there. And the ball was retrieved. We didn't have any mix-ups like what happened with Mike Evans. So the ball was retrieved and it got back to Brady. But there was also a moment that before this one that happened in this game that had Coach Bruce Arians very, very pissed off. And it was not a throw. It was not an interception. It was not a bad pass. It was actually a positive play, but Bruce wasn't a fan of it. It was Tom Brady rushing for a first down, thinking that he's Cam Newton. Check out the play.
Driving again. Stepping up. Going to run for it again. Butts heads and reaches across for the necessary yardage.
Hyped up, too.
And a new
Brady
hype.
Brady was hyped. But Bruce Arians was not. Bruce Arians was not a fan of this one. They had a nice little laugh post game, but Bruce Arians was not laughing with the media. They asked him this question. This was his response.
Look how he's walking.
Yeah. Oh no.
The Price is Right, Mike.
Yeah, with a little mic.
Catches.
You have
Tackles, guard, their backs, everybody. Keep up with him.
I know. Well, I don't think any of us really can, but what can you say about him and his longevity in the sport and the fact that he's just continuing to do this at such a high level?
I don't think there'll be any records left when he's done.
sacrificed his body to get that first down. I mean, he took a hit.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
And the way he just looks on, like, we're done talking about it. That's enough of that.
Right.
Yeah, moving on. Yeah, but yeah, I get it. And I get it. I can't sit here and be like, stop being a hater. No, yeah. Tom Brady needs to stop that. You're about to get your 700 touchdown in this damn game. I know you need the first down, but you saw it was early in the game. If we have to turn it over on downs, we'll turn it over on downs. I'd rather you be healthy and we can figure it out later. You're Tom Brady. We know you'll figure it out later.
Right.
Like, cut it out. You're past that rushing stuff. So I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be a hater too. I'm right there with Bruce Arians on that. Enough of that. We're trying to get you a long career. Stop that.
100%.
A longer career, I guess.
Plus taking hits when you're like a 20-something-year-old Cam Newton versus when you're a 40-something-year-old Tom Brady. That's different. Now, don't do that. Don't do that.
Right. Right. Agreed. But now, last but not least, we're going to wrap it up from one GOAT to another. We're talking about Mr. LeBron James as he went vintage on us in this game against poor Orlando Magic. Because there's a few moments where I think it was both of their pointers. It was RJ Hampton was the first one. Second one was Cole Anthony, who's been having a tremendous season. And we saw LeBron James just, sun both of them. This first one here was against RJ Hampton, who thought he could get away and get a nice little layup. But LeBron James said, "No, son, no, you can't." Here's the first video.
Trying to get to the rim, so it's been feast or famine for Russ so far. At the other end,
he tried to be like, goaltending. It's goaltending. No, it's not. Yeah, no, it was not goaltending. And then this next, that was cool. That was a cool one. I like the power and whatever. But this one right here was my favorite one because this was a classic. This is the reason why there's a chase down artist badge in 2Ks because of none other than Mr. LeBron James. You can hate on him all you want. It's in facts. Now here's poor Cole Anthony thought he had a nice break. He didn't stand a chance. Here's the clip.
Now by the Magic.
Look at me. Oh, it's just Reeves. I'm out of here. Let's get it. No.
I told you he was tracking him. Third one.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that. Yeah. No, that
was
right
fun
there.
to watch.
Thing,
like I was.
You were there for that. Was this the one you were at?
I was there for that game. So, and we were right in front of a couple rows, like we were row 19 up from where they were coming towards us. And LeBron had it in his mind the entire time that this is what he was going to do because he was just running behind him like, I wish you would. I would. And then he slowed down. He slowed down to let him get his momentum up for the layup, and then he took off. Yeah. And I'm like, you didn't feel that big man behind you the whole time?
The whole time. Yeah, because he just saw Reeves. He's like, oh, that's it. Oh, watch this floater. And then LeBron said, no. But yeah, those are dope moments right there.
But Cole Anthony, to your point, had an amazing game, if I could just say really quick. That man.
That's how he's been playing all year.
Amazing game. He played so well. The way he sees the court is amazing. That was my first time seeing him in person. I have a new respect for him specifically, but LeBron went off. He was about that life yesterday, and he was all fired up. It was just a great game.
And they need it. Lakers need it. So, yeah, shout out to LeBron on that one. But we're not done yet. We're not done. We have one more hilarious moment from LeBron James. It led into what could have been a ouch moment, but turned into a ha-ha moment. Here's the clip of LeBron James goofing around the same game.
Blood there as you can see the ball being thrown in and hits him right in the face. Breaks the goggles.
Yeah, it was LeBron picked up the lens.
My favorite part is how he just freezes with it on. like he shuts down. When we look at LeBron, looking like he about to go saw some wood and build a treehouse or something like that with the specs on. But I thought it was funny. Jackie Ray, on this fine Monday, can you tell us what we not gonna do?
Yes, I can. I'm excited to get into this, what we not going to do, because I can promise you this is going to be the last time I talk about this man. So let's get into what we not going to do. Enes Kanter is a clown edition, because this is one of those things where people send me stuff because they know how much I cannot stand Enes Kanter, so they send me stuff. So he was on, you guys know Fox News does not like black people. Let's just be clear. They don't like black people. They think that black people should shut up and dribble. And that has been their narrative since Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, LeBron James took the stage at the ESPYs and tried to bring awareness to what happens to us as black people in this country. The moment that happened, Fox News was like, say less. Let's go into overdrive with our hater mode. So there's a specific gentleman. His name is, and his name escapes me because I cannot, Tucker Carlson. I don't know how I forgot that man's name, but probably because I put it out of my mind intentionally. But he is definitely one of these shut up and dribble. Black people should just be glad that even if we got here by way of slavery, we should be glad that we're here because it's the best country in the world. That's the narrative that he specifically puts out. Enes Kanter decides to go on this man's show specifically. While he's on this show, I want to read his quote because he went on to Ethan Thomas' show. He has a podcast and a show, and Ethan just wanted to get his points, as to why he number one went on the show. Like this isn't the first time you've been seen with racist people, specifically racist politicians before, but now you're with not only a racist, but on this show where you said things that seemed quite racist as well. What was the purpose of this? Like, explain yourself. So let me show you this first explanation from Enes Kanter. Take a listen.
Well, whenever I talk about it, it was never about black or white athletes or red or purple athletes. It was never about a color, Sure. And I even, have a conversation with many of my teammates. And the thing is, people don't understand is many of the black athletes are in the league are reaching out to me and telling me they are the one telling me to call out this people, that people.
So let me explain a couple of things. If you don't speak hypocritical BS, let me translate that for you. So what he's saying is, it's not about, first of all, you always know, let me hip y'all to game. Anytime somebody says it's not black, white, red, or purple, when they name arbitrary colors, they racist as hell. That's just code for I'm just going to point out stuff that don't even exist. That's number one. Number two, when you say, hey, why did you go and deal with this politician who has a racist agenda to black people? And instead of you addressing that, you say, well, did you know that black people are calling me and wanting me to tear down other black people? That's basically what he said. So now you're co-signing and you're not even addressing the question. You're saying, well, hey, it's basically the equivalent to, well, there's black on black crime, which isn't a thing, just so you know. But basically that's what he's saying. So then he's like, okay, and the host gave him a lot of passes that I'm simply not going to give him, because then he says, all right, well, let's talk about this. You go on to Tucker Carlson's show and let me read you the quote that he said about black people in general in this country on the Tucker Carlson show, which is a Fox show, which is racist as hell. He said, they should keep their mouths shut and stop criticizing the greatest nation in the world. They should focus on their freedoms and their human rights and their democracy, which again is basically Enes Kanter saying that black athletes specifically, because that's who they were talking about on this show, should shut up and dribble. This is his response to saying that. Did I not put
So
the
what
second
I
one in
meant
there?
by it is people should feel lucky and blessed to be in this situation. And obviously there are many issues are happening in America. And I'm definitely not denying it. I recognize many of it, and racism is definitely at top of the list.
Right.
But what I meant by it is people should feel lucky. And I mean, at least they're not in a country like Turkey, Syria, North Korea, Venezuela, Belarus, and many other countries.
So every time I hear people say something like that, what I hear is, sure, you're missing an arm, but at least you're not missing a leg. Like, it's not, you can't say that just because things are bad somewhere else that you can say, well, don't really dwell on it because it's not as bad as. That's not the point. I've said this time and time again. If Enes Kanter wants to focus on things elsewhere, please do so, but leave black folks out of it. Because you're not an ally, number one, and we can see that. Number two, you're trying to pit us one against the other. And number three, you don't fully understand the situation. And I can tell that by the things that you're talking about. It is not anybody's responsibility to try to address every single problem on this planet. If you want to address one, please do so, but leave black athletes out your mouth. because you're not an ally. And I can tell this because an ally doesn't go on to a racist talk show and talk to a racist man and tell us we should be thankful for, as if we don't have problems here of our own. Enes Kanter, I don't wish you any kind of well, and I don't like you. And what I'm not going to do is let you keep running around here showing your racist colors and then trying to put some glasses on and seem humble and put a little hoodie on and look like you ain't who you really are and be like, well, that's not what I meant. And then regurgitate the same thing you just said. No, Enes, you getting on my damn nerves. I can't stand you. I don't wish nothing positive for you in your life. Chris, what do you got to say about this?
I don't have anything to say about it because this doesn't surprise me. This is who he is. Just from his 1.5 season being with the Knicks, that's who we learned him to be. He comes out there and says something. We're just talking about basketball in my instance. He just comes out and says one thing, realizes it's not the right thing, and then he has an excuse for it. And now in a bigger stage, in a bigger moment, in something a lot more important, he's saying these things, and now he's trying to say, oh, you got to realize people are telling me to say. And that's when he lost me. The bigger thing here is, and look, I'm showing my old head a little bit. That's Eaton Thomas, that played with the Washington Wizards. He hosts that show.
Yes.
What happened?
I don't know. I said the same thing. I was like, let me Google. I thought the same thing. I was like, that can't be the same Ethan. Oh, it is.
It is.
That's all. It is the same guy.
All right, that's what took me, boy, more than anything else. Because look, at this point, we already know Enes Kanter who he is, and then he lost me even more with that quote talking about other players. Stop, don't do that. Take accountability for your nonsense and your idiocracy. Like take accountability for it, then, man. Like, why are you trying to bring other people into it by turning into now people are gonna be like, who were the players? Can we get names? Like, that's all they're gonna care about because they're gonna try to add to their story. Like, nah, this whole entire thing is whack. Eaton Thomas. Wow. All right. Okay, bro.
Yeah, shout out to him. But Enes Kanter, shut the hell up, please and thank you. That's all we got for today's show, though. You guys, make sure you come back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, the subscribe button. Let your friends know to be here as well. Follow me at Jackie Ray TV. Follow Chris at CK2K. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning on Taco Tuesday. Be safe.
Yeah. Bye.
Hey.